two people sitting having a conversation on the internet. You sit and think and wonder to yourself, is this a podcast? Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Is This a Podcast? I'm your host, David Thorne. Today I have with me a friend of mine and comedian, Joey G. How you doing today, Joey?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome.
So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Tell me just a little bit about yourself, dude. You're originally from Sacramento, or?
No, I've been here for 9 years now. I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I moved out here in 2011. And,
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Was Pennsylvania like? Was it like a rural part of Pennsylvania or like the city?
No, it was in the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the woods.
Yeah. No, it sucks because it was like I grew up in this like this little community thing where like if like a lot of people who were like either retired lived there year round. So they were like 65, or it was like a lot of summer homes.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like rich kids would come up from like New York and New Jersey and like Philadelphia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was like cool for the summer and stuff, but then like everybody would leave and it was just like you with a bunch of 65-year-old people. And like your mom would drag you to bingo in like the middle of February on a Thursday night. Like,
oh crap.
I guess this is fun. I don't know.
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
So I left.
I can definitely feel you on like small town living. Nobody ever came to the town that I lived in. It's the type of town if people rode through there and they didn't know you, the cops might pull you over just to see why you're riding through town.
Especially if they didn't recognize your car. So
yeah, exactly. It's just that small of a town. Yeah.
Yeah. It was we had like this weird like pseudo police like inner security thing or whatever, and it was weird. I mean, like you needed a gate key to like get in and like go through all this bullshit. So I mean, to that effect, it was fun because I used to get to ride my bike until like 10:30 at night and stuff. And
that's cool. For a second there, I thought you were gonna say it was like a freaking local militia or something like that. You're like, no, I lived in a gated neighborhood. Because it was just like,
we took care of our own problems.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. And you moved to California in 2011.
Yeah, it's just you get real sick of the cold out there.
Yes, most definitely. The weather's great out here.
Yeah, it's like 96 degrees right now.
Yeah.
But it's a dry heat. I tell everyone. So
you go in the shade and the shade works. It works not like in humid weather because you can't get away from it, and it's miserable.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a topic that I do like to ask everybody about on the podcast. It's one of my favorite topics. I like hearing people's experiences that they've had under the influence of controlled substances and whatnot. Like, drug trips. Have you had any of those that you'd like to share with us, Joe?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so, again, grew up in the middle of the woods. There's not a whole lot to do other than, like, eat drugs and stuff. So I used to
I feel you.
it's how it happened. I used to have this really good acid connection when I was in my like early to mid 20s or so.
Yeah.
And it was really good, man. She would get this liquid acid and she just put them on these tiny sugar cubes, and you could buy a bag of 10 of them for like 20 or $30 or whatever.
Wow.
A couple dollars. It was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But she would like walk around with them in her purse all day. So she was a hippie, and it ended up tasting like the inside of like one of those like crystal shops that sell like little like statues of dragons and shit, like just like sugary Nag Champa that got
it tasted like a head shop.
Yeah, exactly. It tasted like a head shop. I can still taste it in the back of my throat today, like when I walk into one of those stores that are like burning like the right kind of incense. I'm like, holy shit, man! Like I need to sit down. But yeah, I used to just take like 2 or 3 hits, and I would just I'd I'd sit in my apartment by myself, and I'd watch the Windows XP backgrounds and stuff, like the one with like the yellow tulips and shit, for hours, dude. Like, and I just watched them like grow and like morph and stuff. And I always had so much fun with the Windows XP like wallpaper.
That's great.
And just stare at it for hours. Yeah.
Oh man,
it was fun.
So small town, I'm surprised. Like I know in my small town we were never able to get anything like that. It was very, very rare. So we went the Walmart route and just did like the cough medicine.
Like Robitussin.
Yeah, well, yeah, these the pills, Coricidin, high blood pressure. Huh? Oh, I've did Dramamine. Like one of the craziest hallucinations I've ever had in my life was on fucking Dramamine, because I was like sitting on this park bench, like picnic table beside my friend, and we're both tripping on it. I'm like looking at the ground, and I see this girl that I work with crawl up out of the ground and start crawling up my leg, and I'm just like, and my friend's like, what? And I looked at him and I'm like, I was like, I can't tell you, wouldn't understand.
Did you ever smoke salvia before?
No, I never did smoke salvia.
Yeah, that stuff. I only did it like the one time because it was a blast for like 15 minutes, but then I felt like very uncomfortable for the rest of it. But at one point, like me and 2 of my friends, like you're supposed to smoke out of like a bong or whatever, you know. Yeah. So you take like a couple big hits, and I fell into like a different universe, man. Like this was on some, like even on acid, I never experienced anything like this before, where like everybody's head was this different like port for a different country that was responsible for like importing and exporting certain goods. And I'm watching little ships fly in and out of everybody's mouths, and each ship had its own, like, I lost my mind went like, I felt like I got hit in the head with a shovel at one point. Like I was outside of my brain, and I did not like it, dude.
How much
like
did you take?
It was.
Oh, that was the salvia.
What's up?
That's salvia?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I only took like 3 or 4 like big like bog rips and stuff, and I think I was maybe like 16 or 17 when I did this, and I was not fucking ready for it. I was like, they sell this shit at the farmer's market down the street. Like, I feel like I'm gonna die right now.
Didn't they make it illegal though, where you can't buy it anymore?
Maybe, I don't know. This was like, God, coming up on like 20 years ago now. Like,
Gotcha. I hear you.
It was sold in like this weird little dirt mall by an Amish dude. Like, it was probably not.
That's funny. It's like the Amish guy selling drugs. He's like, like, this is legal. I don't know how Amish people talk. That's probably a very terrible Amish accent.
I don't know. It was nuts though, man. The packaging looked legitimate, so we didn't question anything.
Yeah. He like laced your freaking salvia with PCP. He wasn't really Amish. He was like the devil dressed like an Amish guy. He's like, I'm gonna fuck these kids up really good.
That's a big misconception, man. PCP's expensive. Nobody's just giving that to kids. That's not like. It doesn't happen.
I don't know. I've never priced PCP.
It's not cheap, man.
Oh man.
But maybe we should move on to something.
Maybe we should move on to something else before we start, and like it's like we're gonna go buy PCP and like smoke it and jump off a bridge or some shit. No, that's not gonna happen.
Even just price it, man.
We're gonna freaking Google it. We're gonna get on Silk Road and like get some PCP. I'm now on an FBI watch list.
There it is. Podcast shut down.
Shut down. Is this even a podcast, though?
You know what? They couldn't shut it down if it's not a podcast.
It could just be 2 people having a conversation on the internet. Another subject I like to ask people about is high school. I'm guessing you went to high school in Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
What was that like in high school out there in Pennsylvania?
briefly. I didn't really like it. I actually dropped out in like 10th grade.
Ah,
So I ended up just getting my GED and then working, you know. I just it wasn't for me. I didn't like any of it. I
yeah.
don't like being around big crowds of people. Made me really like anxious, especially back then. I'm a little bit better with it now.
Well, yeah, you do comedy now.
Yeah, but I mean, let's to be honest, like we go to open mics. I wouldn't classify that as big crowds necessarily.
Yeah, there's some big crowds sometimes.
Sometimes
Comedy spot will fill up occasionally
comedy spot will occasionally.
if you
I
can
don't
get up
I
there.
don't go there so much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I usually just go to Stab,
Yeah,
which is
it's
a
great.
lot of fun.
It is
You
fun.
get up and sometimes they pack it, man. Like
Yeah.
sometimes that room is like
They will pack it out. I want to put
Yeah.
on a show there when everything goes back to normal. Death
I can't
Comedy
wait,
Jam.
But yeah, no, I didn't. So yeah, high school was brief. I went to I did like online stuff for a while,
Mhm.
and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get my GED, and then I did that, and I've been working in call centers basically ever since. But you know,
I used to work in call centers. Do you have any funny call center stories? Because I know you have to have some stories about an ignorant caller. Because every call center employee has. Because I know when I worked at a call center, we would always go out on breaks and we would have those calls and just always share our horror stories of the day. Do you have any memorable ones of note?
the very first like call center I worked in was in Pennsylvania, and it was like a cable internet service provider. It was like a local regional place over there, and it was 24-hour support. I was on the cable modem tech support group,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this woman who was notorious for calling in. She was a drunk. She was a racist. She was just the most horrible person on the planet.
Yeah.
And everyone in cable, because everybody kind of sat close together. Like cable modem people were on the right side,
Yeah.
internet or TV, like cable TV people were on the right side. And you would hear people, because it was quiet, you'd hear people talking to Sandra and stuff.
Yeah.
And she only had cable for the longest time. And it was so funny hearing these people like talking to her, just like even the one side of the conversation.
Yeah.
And then some fucking demon installed a modem in this woman's house, and she started calling us. And it was the worst shit ever, man. And the way that the phone system worked is that there were almost no calls coming in from like 11 at night to like 7 in the morning or whenever you were working or whatever. So if you got her, you were on the phone with her, and then if she hung up and she called back like 30 times a night, if you were the last person that she talked to and you were available, like she would automatically get routed back to you.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's like if you were the unlucky one to get stuck with her, like that was
stuck
it,
with for the rest of the night.
And then you'd walk by people's desks and they'd just have their head down and they'd be like, "I'm not Jewish, Sandra. That's not gonna work on me."
What?
She was saying the most horrible shit. But some of the things that like were, and honestly, like I hate talking about it because this woman like clearly was like mentally ill to some degree.
Yeah.
I would think, but she like. It was also that like she wouldn't stop like screaming about like vodka, and like she was always drunk, and she was very racist, which made you feel like not so bad for her at all. And she became a nuisance, so it was just like, get the fuck off my phone, She believed that the big thing that she used to always call the TV people about was that these people every night at 2 a.m. would take over her TV and they'd start screaming at her through her television, and I can't fucking stand this, and you have to do something, and blah blah blah, this is your fault, blah blah blah. Somebody like finally like researched it or whatever, and they found out that the channel that she was watching at 2:30 a.m. would end its programming for that day and switch over to a talk radio station, and she was just seeing a black screen and hearing talk radio, but she thought that they were like specifically talking to her. And she just lose her fucking mind and then call like over and over and over again.
Yeah, That
It
definitely
was a
sounds like mental illness.
yeah, it was bad, dude. But then and you'd be like, oh man, like poor woman, this is terrible. And then she'd hit you with like all these like
Yeah.
horrible slurs and stuff, and you're like, you know what, bitch, just get off my phone.
Yeah.
Like I don't even need to mess with you right now. So I think that was one of the worst ones ever.
Gotcha.
As
Now,
far as consistency, I don't know.
now
There's a lot.
I worked in the direct TV side of like call centers, and they had a lady that would call in and do crazy stuff like that too. That lady
What?
called in so much and like had like over 1,000 comments on the account. It was ridiculous.
Insane. It's insane. I don't know, like I mean, not to be like a corporate like fucking weirdo about it, but like it comes to a point where like they're using up so much resources where it's like, why do we even have this person?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what I do have like a really satisfying one where I was stuck on the phone with this guy. I was working another late shift for a cell phone company, and this guy, and this is my fault because I didn't read the notes right away. You're like always supposed to do that, like
Yeah.
all the time, you know, read the notes, blah blah blah. But I was just letting this guy like scream at me. I was done for the night.
Yeah.
Like whatever, man. And about 20 minutes into it, he goes, and then you motherfuckers have the nerve to send me a letter saying that I'm not allowed to call you anymore. I'm sorry. I looked at the notes and it was like, if he calls, just hang up. And I was like, done. I was like, you know what, sir? You're right. Bye.
That's hilarious.
That was the only time I got to hang up on a lot of people, but that was the only time that like notes have ever specifically instructed me to like just hang up on someone. It was pretty fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. Like, I've hung up on people at the call center just because they were being like raging dickheads. But you know, it's always that chance where you roll the dice and QA can catch you and like just screw you over.
Yeah, I've never like done that because like I don't care. I have like gotten sick to the people where like if the company that I was working for allowed it, like usually most places will let you like warn them 2 or 3 times, like you know,
Yeah.
if they're getting out of line or whatever, and then you can hang up on them and stuff. But especially the position I'm in now, like I kind of just gotta let people go unless they start like threatening physical harm and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Then I gotta do paperwork, but that almost never happens.
Are you like do you take supervisor calls or something?
Yeah, it's yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't want to get too into the inner workings of it and stuff.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
I'm allowed to talk about like.
Hey, I'm not trying to get into the inner workings of it. I've worked in a call center. I know that there's the people that walk around and do the like answer your questions when you don't know what the heck to do.
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have to walk, which is why I'm getting fat. You know, I just sit in my home office.
Oh yeah, you're working from home now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have been for like 8 years. This is just nothing changed for me. I feel bad. My life has not been disrupted at all. So.
Well, hey, at least nothing much has changed, I guess.
But like, getting this together, I don't know.
Oh man. Move on to another topic. Now I know that you've recently became a dad 2 times over, right?
Yeah. My daughter was born March 27th.
Okay. Now, like, what's that like? What's that mean to you being a dad? I mean, I'm just curious to hear your take on it.
It's like, I mean, it's like super cliche. How like you can't really answer that without saying something that's not like super like cliche and dumb, you know. But like it really does change you. In most parts for the better. I don't know if my second kid screams less or if I'm just more patient now. But like it definitely like it like you know hardens certain parts of you and like all that stuff. It's just, you know, you try not to screw them up is the only thing. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but you try not to damage them and just, you know, make it fun and hold off on letting the rest of the world damage them as long as you can, you know?
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. We, my son's 3 and we have like I set up like a tent in the living room for him every Thursday night, and there's just like no bedtime. We stay up and watch Pixar movies and shit, and like Disney.
That's cool.
Yeah, like load him up on sugar and popcorn every once in a while. It's fun.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool as hell, man.
Yeah. Like at this point, it's just about like I think letting him be a kid.
Yeah.
Like, there's really I'm not focusing on anything too much as far as like what's gonna psychologically damage him later on down the road.
Yeah.
Like I don't throw him through a wall or anything, you know. So there's, like,
Hey, you're doing pretty good then.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite Pixar movie?
We've been watching a lot of Cars, man.
Okay.
And I am not a NASCAR fan at all. I hate racing. I grew up down the street from the Pocono Raceway where they do like the Pocono 500 and all that shit.
Yeah.
Not interested in it whatsoever. But
Oh.
Cars is a good movie, so
Yeah.
I like that one.
Favorite character on Cars?
I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, because Larry the Cable Guy
I
is
knew
like,
you were gonna
Larry the
say
Cable
Mater.
Guy. How
He's
can you not love
he's
Mater, dude?
lovable. He is a lovable
Yeah.
character.
He is.
Yeah.
He's dopey and he's fun and like the Hudson Hornet. I like that guy because he reminds me of
Yeah.
who's that dude? He plays like the cowboy in fucking. I almost said Being John Malkovich. With the dude, what's that one?
There's a cowboy in Being John Malkovich?
No. That's the only movie I can think of right now. He's the cowboy at the bowling alley and like the dude in the robe. What the fuck is the name of that movie?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Damn it! You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I
The dude
don't.
with Steve Buscemi was in it. Fuck.
Big Lebowski? Is that what you're talking
yes,
about?
thank you. Big
Okay,
Lebowski.
okay,
He
yeah.
played I'm bad with names. I want to call him John Edwards, but the cowboy dude with the gray hair and stuff. That just reminds me of the Hudson Hornet, and this conversation has gotten way off track. And I apologize for that.
Okay, well, we can move on to something else. Now,
Yeah.
now, as I said at the beginning of the episode, this is episode 13. And you know what that
Yeah.
means? We're going to talk about Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th movies in honor of episode 13. So, as far as the Friday the 13th movies, which one is your favorite?
Okay, well, I'm gonna preempt this by saying I just saw Jason X like when he goes to space, and that shit is hilarious, and that might be in my top list for the wrong reasons.
Just because it's terrible.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I think it's what was it? I think Friday the 13th Part 3 is really the first one where we see him as he is like now with the hockey mask, because the first one it was his mom the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? Spoiler alerts, I guess.
Yeah.
Second one, he was running around with that like potato sack on his fucking head. And then I think the third one is when we finally saw him like in the mask running around with a machete, and his mom's like fucking talking to him like you know through like the Jedi fucking Force spirit shit or whatever she does, you know. But like, Mom, you love you, or was that? I don't know. That also might have been Freddy vs. Jason too.
Now in the first movie, wasn't it his mom doing the killing or something?
Yeah, it was all his mom.
His
the
mom.
Whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, like he never even made an appearance. I don't think. Like as they made, because they did all those like point of view, like I'm gonna make it look like I'm Jason Voorhees or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just like his fucking psycho bitch mom who. Well, I mean, honestly, like you can't even really say that because like some asshole teenagers let her son drown, and I'd murder them too, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean,
maybe not the kids 20 years after it happened. That
like those kids didn't have anything to do with it. That's like yeah, that's kind of fucked up. But you know, the kids that originally did it, yeah, they deserve to get murdered, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah, machete them to hell.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck those
like,
kids.
Maybe not their grandkids or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna kill your entire lineage.
Right. Not even lineage, because she killed the teenagers. So these are completely unrelated teens that just went to the camp.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened there.
Yeah.
Imagine you're driving down the highway like 99 and somebody just fucking slaughters you and they're like, this is where my kid died 15 years ago. You know, like, what the fuck does that have to do with me?
This is very true. Very true.
But I guess that's the whole like psychoticness of it. It is a horror movie. So.
Yeah. No.
But how did you feel about Freddy versus Jason?
Did
you like that one?
I was just actually fixing to bring that one up, and I would have to say that that's probably one of my favorites. Followed probably by Jason X because it's shittiness. There's some movies that you can watch just because they're so shitty. But yeah, Jason versus Freddy, I liked it, but in my opinion, it wasn't even like Jason versus Freddy. It's like Jason teams up with Freddy, or Freddy basically controls Jason for most of that movie.
Because he like morphed into his mom and he was like, kill them all, Jason. That part was so badass, dude. I love that one. But yeah, I mean, like, it was, I mean, there was, like, a final fight, and I feel like the only reason that they did that was because everybody had been talking about it since, like, I was, like, fucking 10 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And then it finally came out, like, 10 or 12 years later or whatever it was. But I remember walking out of the theater, because I always liked Jason Voorhees better than Freddy. Just, I don't know. I just liked him more. Although Freddy definitely has his perks.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I was always more into Jason.
No,
I don't know where it was
I
going.
think I would have to agree with you there, because Freddy, he was like, he's in your dreams. He's inside your head. He's not in the physical real world. He's like your nightmares and shit. He's like some fucking shit that's like, okay, I could like just smoke a lot of weed and not have dreams and not have to fucking worry about you, Freddy. And then
Right, exactly. And then even then, like, remember, like, it was like Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Masters, the kid in the wheelchair, like, turned into a wizard and took him out. Like, if you're a threatening horror figure, I mean, not to like disparage like the handicapped community or anything, but like, I don't feel like an adolescent in a wheelchair should be able to take out this big horrible fucking villain. But he did it, and good for him. And I feel like that was a huge step forward for, you know, everybody.
Exactly.
But it was just like, there was so much silliness with Freddy too, and that's like why a lot of it was awesome, because like I'll always remember that scene because it was probably like the first like nudity scene I saw in a movie where the kid was tied down to the bed and like the nurse came in and like she took off her shirt and then the bed turned into like a portal to hell and she like ripped him apart and shit, like whatever happened in that movie. But like that scene, like it's just like it's cartoonish almost, you know, like when like the kid like with the sleepwalker kid got like walked off the building and stuff. But that's why those movies are fun, because it's just you know
it's just so
ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, Jason was always scarier because he was like that slow moving big just hulking monster with a fucking machete and a hockey mask. And he had a fucked up face when he took the hockey mask off. But
Right, and then you're always tripping over shit unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And he was fun. I think what was it like? I've watched those movies so many times. There was one where he like finally took his mask got knocked off or something like that, and he was like this weird mutilated.
He looked like Chunk from Goonies. That's what I thought. But
well, like the love child of Sloth and Chunk, maybe, you know, like third generation inbred, like, which doesn't make sense because he drowned, right?
Yeah,
I'm thinking of Mike Myers.
He did drown. Michael Myers now. Michael Myers is another one of those slashers that I like him, honestly. Out of all three, I would have to pick Michael Myers because Michael Myers could actually be real because he's an actual person, which makes him even more scary because Michael Myers is a human. Those two are just made up.
No, well, the other two. So Freddy was a human. He was like a child molester, which was
Yeah.
super weird that they started marketing that to kids in the '90s.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta start them young.
who's your favorite child molester? It's Freddy Krueger. It's so like video games and dolls and shit. It's so weird. But like, so he was a child molester. They like. And if you know the backstory to Freddy, man, like
Yeah.
that's insane. His mom was like a nun who got raped by like 100 maniacs and shit, and then like he was born and he was a child molester and he went to hell and came back, and it's a convoluted fucking story or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of why Jason Voorhees is maybe a little bit better, because it's just like he drowned, revenge.
He didn't have his rough of a life.
Yeah.
But Jason Voorhees was also mentally handicapped.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure that he was. That or he was deformed.
I mean, I think he was a normal kid before he went under and like inhaled all that water. I think like swallowing that much water is probably going to make it slow.
I'm not so sure about that. I think I'm wanting to say he was disfigured in some way. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the movie in years. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I might be mixing up my
it's
movies
possible.
too.
It is possible.
But I always kind of found it easier to root for Jason because, like, he's this, like, misunderstood monster who was neglected and left to drown.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Freddy was a child molester who's still going after kids. You know, like, why is this still happening?
Yeah, it's like, fuck Freddy. He's an asshole. Like, if you like Freddy Krueger, what's wrong with you?
Right, exactly. You know, like, I feel like Jason, you can be like, yeah, fuck those kids. Let's go, like, smoke a bowl. We'll have a beer. And we'll go out to a cornfield and see who's out there. And, like, fucking start rampaging. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But those slasher movies from back in the day, they can't make anything like... Well, they could try to make something like that, but it'll never be as good as those old horror movies. And one of the most gritty ones, in my opinion, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen the original Tobe Hooper Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No.
We're going to have to watch that shit sometimes, dude, because it's like... I don't know, the movie feels so dirty. Not like it just has that grimy feel. It's like I can watch that movie and I'm like, I could smell the inside of the van just by the way that the freaking shit looks. It's like, yeah.
But no, I've seen parts of it. Like everything's covered in dust all the time, and like, it feels dirty on the eyes to watch it. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's one of my favorites. I think. Because Leatherface should happen too. I think that was based on true events, but I could be wrong.
I remember hearing that when I was a kid, but they also said that about Fargo, and that was just bullshit.
Yeah.
So, who knows? But, I mean, Texas is a big state, and it was fucking crazy back then, so who's to say somebody didn't go on a chainsaw massacre? I'm sure it's happened.
Oh, well, I know it happened in the town where I went to high school. That some guy like went crazy and cut his cousin in half with a chainsaw.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Where'd you go to
school? Giles County High School in Pulaski, Tennessee.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Tennessee sounds rough, man.
It wasn't that bad. It's just you got your crazy people everywhere, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely like a good amount, even like. Living in the woods, there was a good amount of crazy shit happening. I don't know if there were any chainsaw murders though.
Yeah,
there were a few, just not with chainsaws.
Yeah, I guess they got into an argument and the dude's uncle just like cut him up or whatever. It was like, dang, that's crazy, man. That's
yeah.
That was,
I would say that falls under the crazy category.
It was like the talk of the town for quite some time.
I'm sure you're in like a small town, especially.
I think if I remember right, the guy's name was Red McCluskey, which just sounds like a person who would saw you up with a chainsaw. You know, it's just like you sound like you would own a chainsaw and you would probably chop me up because.
I'm starting to feel like a little less sympathy for the victim because, like, what the hell are you doing hanging out with a guy named Red Chomsky? Was it
McCluskey?
McCluskey, that's so much worse.
Yeah.
Red McCluskey, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was when I was really young though. That was a long, long time ago. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's fucking crazy.
It is, dude. There's some crazy stuff that happens in small towns. It happens every now and then, but that's just the stuff you know about. There's a
Yeah, that was the weird thing, man. Like in like small towns, like it's not like a ton of crime happens, but like when it does, it's like holy shit, like dude
yeah,
murdered his whole family, like
yeah.
because that's yeah,
Like
it's crazy shit.
a lot of time in small towns, some of the crimes they just don't figure that shit out because it's stupid stuff like a bunch of kids riding around like hitting mailboxes or like
Oh
stealing
yeah,
lawn ornaments, taking
yeah,
lawn jockeys out from in front of people's houses and taking them other places. That may or may not have happened one time.
yeah. I think a lot. I think most kids go through that stage of like,
Oh yeah.
hey, let's
I,
fuck shit up for no reason.
I remember
Uh,
there was a night where we were riding around and this person had these plastic chickens on their front yard. And I got out of the car and went and got it and we went to Crystal and I went inside Crystal and I was talking to the chicken just to like mess with people in the restaurant. It was great. I was a weird one.
well, I guess it depends on where your barometer of weird is.
Oh, I was definitely weird back where I'm from, for certain.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're coming to the end, and what I usually like to do at the end, I know you're doing stand up and things like that. Probably no shows coming up because I don't think there's a lot coming up now, but do you have any plans for the future? Are you working on anything like that? What's gonna be going on with comedy and Joey G?
Nah, not a thing, man. Just waiting for places to open back up so we can go out to open mics again and stuff, and
Hell yeah.
kind of get back to it. I'm not like a go-getter when it comes to that stuff. I just, it's a hobby.
Yeah,
I
dude.
like it,
Yeah.
but I don't plan stuff. If people ask me to do things, I'll do it.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks again for this, bud. It's been fun, but yeah, nothing coming up.
Oh,
So,
I mean, I know there's not anything coming up for me either, but this was a special episode 13.
yeah.
Now, do you have any social media, anything you want to plug, or
No, not really.
not
I
really?
I don't have like a comedy social media thing.
Hey.
It's just if you know me, shoot me a friend request
Yeah,
for sure. Or if you see me out there, and why not? But yeah, no, I don't have an online presence,
hey,
so to speak.
I'm getting one, I guess, but I didn't for the longest time. But doing comedy, you kind of almost have to. If you want to get shows, you got to reach out to people and stuff, which
It's
that's a part of
yeah.
it. But yeah,
Yeah, it seems like you have to at least have like a place to house like, clips or videos and stuff. Which I mean I do. I have
yeah,
when Skip Bacon asked me to do like social distancing stuff, I'll do that and put it on there, but it's not something I actually like maintain or
yeah,
work on. So
yeah. I did the social distancing mic once.
it
Where I
was fun,
recorded.
man.
The
Yeah.
the Zoom show was fun. Now the mic, it was okay, but it just felt weird just recording myself with no
Yeah,
laughter.
yeah.
It was fun to
I'm
watch.
pretty used to that, and just the silence after you tell
Yeah.
jokes. And then I don't know. I try to lean into the weirdness as much as possible.
Oh
It's
yeah.
fun. I don't mind it, but I can't wait until it's over. So
Oh, definitely, dude. I can't wait to see you get back up there and tell the joke about insects. That joke is funny as hell, man. That shit fucking cracks me up, bro. I
yeah,
like that joke. It's
thank
great.
you.
But yeah, dude, it was very nice having you on. It's been a freaking blast talking to you. Um,
Absolutely, man.
we'll have to
Anytime.
have you back on sometime. Maybe sometime we'll watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That might be
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Like
We'll
freaking
do.
host a watch party maybe. I don't know if that's a possibility. But I know I'm bad about talking through the whole damn movie. If I've seen it especially.
That's all right, man. We can do a Mystery Theater 5000
Dude.
version.
I'd be down to do some shit like that. Just like watch horror movies or watch movies and comment on that stuff. That'd be neat. But yeah, dude, it was nice having you on and great talking to you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It was
Oh.
good talking to you again.
All
Can't wait
right,
to see you
man.
back out there.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell me what you thought. Follow me on Twitch at The Southern Reject. Thanks. Have a good day.